Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wilds coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning talk. Man, for all the people who celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, just want to say happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man. Enjoy time with the family, enjoy some nice food, and just enjoy your day off. Most people are off on Fridays and they do some shopping. Just whatever you're doing for the holidays and the weekend, just enjoy it. But yes, I'm here as usual, coming to a little inspirational talk. And since we are heading into a holiday for a lot of people in the U.S., I don't know who else celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow or celebrating such holidays, even if not tomorrow. Miss Story Keys, good morning. Jillian, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, so since we're going into the holiday season, starting tomorrow with Thanksgiving, and then we going straight into Christmas after that next month, I just want to address a little topic here. This topic, it's something that's widely accepted in the churches, and it's accepted generally and does not look at as a sin or as destructive as other addictions. It does not, Mr. Alan Dwayne, good morning. It does not carry the same weight how we judge other people with other addictions and everything. And it's the sin of gluttony. Gluttony simply is excess in eating or drinking. If you're eating or drinking too much more than you need, right? That's what gluttony means. And this is widely accepted, and it's a sin. The Bible talks a lot about it. And we will just get into a little bit about it. But before we go on, I just want to make a disclaimer. This is not it's not up to us to judge anyone, right? Anyone. A personal weight or physical appearance may have nothing to do with the sin of gluttony. A physical appearance or the weight may have nothing to do with the sin of gluttony. Not all people who are overweight are gluttons. Not all people who are overweight are gluttons, and not all gluttons are fat. There are some people who eat out your house and they're not putting on an ounce of weight. That doesn't mean that they're not committing the sin of overeating, right? So our responsibility as believers is to scrutinize our own lives, right? Our own lives, and do our best to honor and serve God faithfully with our bodies. So we need to just point this finger at ourselves, man. And I talk in this, and I struggle with this with certain foods. You know, you struggle with gluttony. You eat in excess of that you normally should eat, man. I go some churches that I go, you guys know, they got the donut fund, man. The donut fund, right? There's a fund specially for buying donuts. So every Sunday morning is someone's responsibility to buy a bunch of donuts, all different kinds, you know, those nice little jelly-filled donuts and this and that, the glaze and all the nice different variety of donuts, and they leave it there, and, you know, church members just go and just take as much as you like. You know, you're supposed to be taking in moderation, but you know, sometimes them donuts take advantage of you, right? I would put it that way. The donuts take advantage of you sometimes. You might overeat. You know, donut is one of those things, if you like sweet like me, you know, you got to really say no to it and really say hard and walk a different route, because those donuts is just, they're calling you and waving at you and doing jumping jacks and trying to get your attention, right? But yeah, so we want to address this. Because it's serious as any other sin, right? And it's overlooked, right? So first of all, let me start off by First Corinthians 6:19 through 20. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. He said, "Do you know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies." Honor God with your bodies. Saying honor God with your bodies. So we got to take care of this temple. We got to take care of our bodies, right? And overeating is not a good way to take care of it, right? So let's look at a few more scriptures here. Deuteronomy 21:20. It's saying, "They shall say to the elders, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Normally, they're going to bring them together because it's the excess of eating and drinking. Excess of eating and drinking. It's not only drinking alcohol. They're drinking all those sweet beverages like you like and, overdoing stuff, right? So Proverbs 23:20-21 said, do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat. For drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them with rags. So the Bible says, do not join those who get overeating and over drinking, right? Whether it's alcoholic beverages, whether it's sodas, whether they say do not eat or, just be careful. Just be careful because we've got to honor God with our bodies. So for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothe them with rags. So you eat too much, you drink too much, you feel sluggish and you feel drowsy. That's what they call. It's after eat time is sleep time. People got the term what they call, I don't want to use the word, but it's saying, but after you eat a heavy meal, you want to sleep, right? So because what the body got to do there now, after you take that heavy meal, the body got to say, look, bro, I don't have no energy for you to do anything else. All this big set of excess of food you put in here, I got to go and digest it. Because if I don't digest it, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So all your energy is focused in digesting the food. So you don't really have no energy to do anything else. That's why after those big heavy meals, you feel sleepy because the body's saying, you going to rest because I don't have no more energy to give you to do anything else. I got to take care of all this food you put in here. Because if I don't digest it and it stay here undigested, it's going to cause you some serious problems. So you going to lie down. Let me focus all my energy on digesting, right? So that's how you feel drowsy and all that. So the saying here, if you overeat and you feeling this drowsy and stuff, you can't go out and work properly. You can't do a whole lot of nothing. So if you can't work and you're always feeling drowsy and sleepy, it's saying, it'll come to, after a while, you're going to become poor, right? So that's what it's saying. So it said, do not join those who drink too much wine. College Streaks, good morning, good morning. So do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothe them in rags. Proverbs 23:1-2 says, when you sit to dine with a ruler, note well what's before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given to gluttony. Right? So when you sit to dine with a ruler, this one was really talking about be careful with the foods that is presented to you, because some of the rulers back in the day, some of the kings was worshiping other gods, and these meat and stuff what they had at the feast was meat, and these animals was already presented to the idols. So they're saying the food is not fit, for the Christian to eat. So they're saying, if you sit for the road, be careful what's in front of you. And they're saying, if you're a glutton, you just like eat. It's saying, just put a knife to your throat. It's saying, just, be careful. Don't get carried away. And just because you like food, just eating anything that's presented to you. Right? And that's what gluttony would do. Right? So Ezekiel 16:49 saying, now this was the sin of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. So this is the sins here. Some of the sins of this talking about Sodom, right? They were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy. So they lumped this here as a sin. Overfeeding, overeating is a sin. Okay? Right? So Proverbs, so because the whole thing with like I just talking about gluttony today, but this goes for any addiction. This goes to doing anything in excess. That's how we're supposed to do it, right? Any addiction, because we're saying the addiction is what the problem is, right? The addiction is what the problem is, and that addiction is a sin, right? Overdoing in anything, right? And they're saying we should exercise self-control. Proverbs 25:28. Proverbs 25:28 saying, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Like a city whose walls are broken, some translations say broken down, is a city who lacks self-control. So the saying is like a city, you ain't got no protection. Like your house. Just imagine you just got your house just to the flat base, no walls, no nothing, no your windows, no nothing. Anything could blow in, the wind blow, rain fall, you getting wet, the wind blow, anything could come in. That's what it's saying. That's a person who lacks self-control. Understand? We should have self-control in all areas, even with food. So tomorrow when you see all the nice food, just sample. If it's so much you want to try everything, just take a little bit of sample, you know what I mean? And don't go overboard into eating too much, right? Holidays time coming. Or generally, sweets is my problem. That's why working on hard. Sweets is the area that I usually overeat in, and I'm guilty of being a glutton with sweets. So that's my struggle, and that's why working. So Darius Ford, good morning, good morning. And all of us got that little thing that we gonna go overboard in, you know what I mean? And all of that got the food that you so love that you go overboard every time it show up. You just can't exercise the self-control, and you go overboard and then eat too much, and then you cause yourself some issues. So guys, this is it here. But gluttony, excessive eating and drinking, is a sin just like any other sin, and I know it's widely accepted. But let us, going forward, especially now the ones of us who getting a little older, we have to exercise this self-control, because now the same amount of food we eat in, especially some of us were athletes back in the days, and we could eat out the house and nothing because we can go and burn that off. Now we come to an age where metabolism is not as what it used to be when we were younger. So we just got to be very, very careful now with what we eating. And this particular one here, this particular sin should mean a lot to us, not even though just not as for portion of a sin, but just as our taking care of our bodies, right? Because remember, he's saying 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, do you know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit? So if you want the Holy Spirit dwell, you want to give the Holy Spirit a nice place to dwell in. Who is in you, whom you have received from God. You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So, Tari, yes, happy Thanksgiving to you, Mr. Ford. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family also. And that's what we're talking about today, just not overeating tomorrow or the holidays, right? So, guys, I can leave that there. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Just go into it in the holidays and, thinking about every time you get the temptation to overeat or drink that favorite beverage that you like so much, just remember, just let me do it in moderation, just let me do it in moderation. If you do it in moderation, you can do it, you can do it more often, if you do it in moderation. But if you just go and, overindulge, it could cause other issues, right? And most importantly, God view it as a sin. All right, guys, we can leave that here, but happy Thanksgiving to everyone who's celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we'll talk again on Friday. All right, goodbye.